Yeah.
I better get out of the way.
I'm going to give a reading while you're trying to dunk me, okay? So depending upon how much you hate what I read, you can show your displeasure. Double your dollars for it. Okay, the chapter where the desire to not aggravate old contentions, but to still tell a spicy story, provides me with an excuse for giving people even sillier names than they already have. I'm gonna get tired real fast. This story is one of many exposés of myself. Why wait for someone else to tell it? My emotional volatility, sexual and economic frustration, and general vast hatred have often erupted into violence.
Where are they?
Particularly directed against friends that I felt betrayed me, or that I felt should have known better, and treated me in certain ways. A certain 12-letter.
Dantoni did that.
Hey, you're cheating! I'm Dantoni! I'm American!
Hooray for not playing by the rules!
Where? Oh, I didn't even see that. Wow, that's weird. No, I know why. Because they have like he hates it, that's why.
Is that wrong?
Dantoni is
Stop the brain head!
That's Tom. Tom is jealous of Tent. I know, but was I in that? I hope they'll cut me out of it. I don't know. You are.
No, I'm just doing it for
Pardon me?
Woo, 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 woo. Show us some leg. Woo, woo. Oh, baby. Take it off. Take it off.
as you usually do.
Please take it off.
Show us that dust mite.
12 letters was a friend of mine that I felt to be intelligent and vivacious.
Who?
I was sexually attracted to her, but didn't anticipate any sexual compatibility between us. That, however, really nearly personal as well as sometimes still am, didn't stop me from being sexually aggressive to her. This was manifested primarily by my kissing her low at bars and parties, and by my half-heartedly propositioning her, or as I like to say, prepositioning her.
Andy's a really good MC.
I may have been gracelessly direct and unwelcome with this, but certain 12 always seemed to receive me with unoffended good humor. Certain 12's best friend, a little teapot with a spout, and I were briefly close enough for us to have had sex together. Certain 12 later said something to me like, "What more do you want? I gave you my best friend." Do you think that this can even be heard over there?
Not very well, but
Can you hear me, Peter?
yeah, I can hear you fine.
The night after this first sex between us, I invited her to my place saying that we can make beautiful music together. I had put my foam mattress into the large 8-carton-lined replica of a transistor radio that I had made, and which I called As Radio. This bedroom was entered through the facsimile of the battery compartment flap. I had further prepared for making beautiful music by putting a microphone in the As Radio, which was connected to 2 reel-to-reels joined for tape delay.
All right, give me the balls. There we go. What are we having? Carnival crap. Go.
Ready? Yeah, I'll be over to shake for a while.
The night after this first sex between us, I had invited her to my place saying that we can make beautiful music together. When a little teapot with a spout arrived, I provided a punchline for my invitation's cliche by explaining that this as radio setup was for us to fuck in. For the sake of making the echoing recording, and hopefully for the sake of recording the sounds of orgasm prolonged at a delay process beyond their usual duration. She seemed to appreciate the absurdity of this, and we fucked until her soreness from the night before made it too painful. I'm not sure whether my desperate impassionedness or my total off-the-wallness were too much for her, but we never had sex again after that. I wasn't especially offended by this. I liked her and didn't feel rejected. I did, however, continue to sometimes annoy her with insinuated advances.
Oh, he's a great MC.
One night, the band Sterling was playing at the Marble Bar in Baltimore, and I had gone to hear them because Jack Chipman, a member of the band, was an old friend of mine whose former band...
And now the amazing Wanda, the extraordinary pimple-faced
whose
woman.
former band, the P's and Q's, I had played harmonica with a couple of times, and who I'd rarely seen since he moved to California and became famous. Sterling finished playing, and many people were leaving the bar to go to a party for them at the home of yesterday when we went walking, and we said not too much about which way this sentence goes, and Mr. and Mrs. Jackson, what I went before, I was still alive at 12, and yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way this sentence goes, and Mr. Hamilton what went before, close friend of mine, who I had been artistic. Having drunk a great deal of booze, I realized while walking with them to certain 12's car that I needed to piss. Being the sort of person who has nothing against public urination, I told them that I needed to pee, and turning away from them and toward a fence, I proceeded to do so. Asking them to wait for me so that I wouldn't be late without transportation.
Like you just
But 12's reaction shocked and offended me. She exclaimed with disgust, I don't want to see anything. And she and yesterday was walking and we said not too much about which way to descend the sun. Mr. Hamilton what went before Clark hurried away from me, a child-molesting leper.
All these artists wimps!
Hi, Larry.
Oh, you know, up and down, up and down. Life of a manager is not always very
Yeah, well, I don't know what it's
struggle against yourself. No, whatever it is, it's not what it's cracking up to be. Yeah. Then it is what it's cracked up to be. I was right.
I pass them a lot, and I pass them a lot.
No, he's still in bronze made up of fires.
As random as
Yeah.
possible.
That's funny, because that's the way I
First I was asking people if they were considering themselves as artists, and then if you don't answer,
C-R-B-L-Y, probably. I was very surprised to come up and see Sink the Brain Head.
Yeah, well, he's reading his text to try to
can't do it.
inflame people, but yeah, nobody can hear it.
Okay. He's trying to inflame the people throwing the balls.
Although I'd say they're already pretty inflamed.
Yeah.
They're definitely
One needs
very
to sink someone once in a while.
nice work if you can get it. And you
Twelve's reaction shocked and offended me. She exclaimed with disgust, I don't want to see that thing. And she and yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did the sentence go and Mr. how did it affect what went before Clark, hurried away from me as if I were a child-molesting leper. This was years before I developed any urolognia cravings. My act of pissing was no more than gratification of my urgent need to empty my bladder and hadn't been a display for either of their benefits. Since I was already peeing, it was close to impossible to stop without wetting my pants. So by the time I was finished, they had vanished and I was faced with the slightly difficult and irksome in my drunkenness nuisance of either another bummed ride or an hour's walk.
No, I haven't
Their leading may have been justified with their being pressed for time to fetch more booze all for the party before store closing time. No. If you do that to the people, won't get their money's worth. If their leaving may have been justified with their being pressed for time to fetch more booze all for the party before store closing time, I would have been less mad. But the self-righteous indignation of two supposed friends of mine. Oh, now it's not working.
Carnival crap! Hoop, Jerry Rich!
All right, well, we have to do it again.
Oh. That's what you get for buying American!
Good slogan.
Get this right.
Okay. See you later.
Then they get the cheap. Did he actually hit it? Did it work?
Yeah, this is good.
These balls have to be perfectly.
Really slimy spit.
Huh?
Nice work if you
Spit?
can get, yeah. And you can get it if you try.
All right, clear out, kiddies.
On the Easter parade.
Andy, you really should start a carny.
Yeah,
You've got to have
I'll
a
be in
carny
it.
of your own.
It's gonna be like a surgical photograph sideshow. You could animate the photographs by just
And now
having a good
Lucas, the
character.
amazing floppy-eared man.
David! That's why you can get him down!
He doesn't even care if you mess up his hair or not.
Or not.
All right, folks, douse the brain.
If their leaving may have been justified with their being pressed for time to fetch more booze all for the party before store closing time, I would have been less mad. But the self-righteous indignation of two supposed friends of mine and unfair misrepresentation of my motives were the last straw in a long series of bourgeois, pompous rejections of me that have become a standard and almost daily routine in my life. Finally, catching a ride to the party in the band's truck, I walked into the Mr. and Mrs. How to Defect What Went Before Clark home, and after glimpsing an excellent woman with whom I particularly tortured, never protracted affair that I felt extremely amused by, and whose mere presence was enough to trigger my most seething potentials, went straight to certain 12, spat in her face, insulted her, and pushed her.
Spat in her face.
This was at the beginning of a 10-foot hallway that led from the living room to the kitchen. I blacked out from rage and or drunkenness and found myself next, still on my feet, at the entrance to the kitchen, after having bumped into the stereo or having deliberately hit it while blacked out. Struggling with first yesterday when we went walking, we said not too much about which way did the sentence go and Mr. How to Defect What Went Before Clark. And then after he cried desperately for reinforcements, Inspector Hector dived for the connector in one of Sterling's bouncer roadies. All of them were at least 50 to 100 pounds heavier than I was, but in my manic state I was hard to suppress.
Oh, shit.
Yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did this sentence go and Mrs. How to Defect What Went Before Clark came into the kitchen and shouted, "Not in my house." It still didn't work.
It didn't work.
It worked, so you just didn't hit it hard enough.
We need some Vaseline.
Well, everyone's got something.
Hand me that hammer. Give me that hammer.
Wow, this stuff.
Plus, it's really dirty water. You know, the fire hydrant. Concentrate. You want some raisin bread? It's pretty hard to keep,
To project.
yeah, I don't know.
All right, here we
You can
go.
hear me over there at all?
Well, I'll check.
Probably not really.
You hold the camera.
Okay.
Just don't move.
See if it works.
All right, go ahead. All right, it works, but who knows?
All right, clear out, clear out. Come on, get behind the ropes.
Press the hold and then you press this.
All right. As he reads from his latest Apathy Press Benefit.
Yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did this sentence go, and Mrs. How did it affect what went before Clark came into the kitchen and shouted, "Not in my house, Michael. When will these people ever get the answer to the question, what is my name, straight?" I suppose this was meant to express that yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did this sentence go, and Mrs. How did it affect what went before Clark had always been kind and generous to me, she had, and that she didn't deserve such treatment, debatable. I retorted with my ultimately redundant, but nonetheless partially accurate, bourgeois bitch. Actually, I think the accuracy is limited to the former half of the insult. If the latter is taken to mean a woman who is nasty. I may have grabbed a can opener and attempted to stab yesterday when we were walking and we said not too much about which way this sentence goes. Mr. How did it affect what went before Clark with it, and I may have kicked it yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did this sentence go, and Mrs. How did it affect what went before Clark, my weight being supported by the men trying to restrain me. I'm not sure about either of those, except remembering that those two possibilities are the worst. A half a year or so later, I was in New York City hearing this tale retold by a language-centered poet who said he'd heard from yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did this sentence go, and Mr. How did it affect what went before Clark, that I tried to kill him with a knife. The exaggeration of a legend. The language-centered poet seemed more titillated by the story than afraid of me, since he was one of the people disappointed by the then.
Ten, I can hear you fine from out there.
Okay, good.
You just need to say more cuss words.
That gets people to pay attention. I think I lose them when I start going into the yesterday when we went walking.
They're not into the yesterday when we went walking theory.
The language-centered poet seemed more titillated by the story than afraid of me, since he was one of the people disappointed by the then unfulfilled Mr. and Mrs. How to Affect What Went Before Clark promise of book publication, something for which they'd received grant money. And Musley had an opinion of yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did the sentence go, and Mr. How did it affect what went before Clark as an insincere and unscrupulous article.
Give it your best shot.
Don't let her get too close.
She can't see. She's got too much white shit on her face.
Mr. and Mrs. How did it affect what went before Clark Rohome's back porch, where he sat on my chest to prevent my re-entering the party. This was a relatively benign reaction on his part, for which I thanked him, given that he could have pummeled me unmercifully into unconsciousness at this point. Pata Harry came to my rescue, screaming at the bouncer to get off my chest. Bless you, Pata. By this time, Baltimore poet, a different certain 12 letters, had been attracted by the brouhaha out of the porch, and the bouncer had consented to get off my chest and went back inside the house. From my now comfortable prone position, I noticed that a different certain wasn't wearing any underwear under her skirt, and my energy rechanneled its flow from hate to lust. Gently navigating a different certain crotch of my mouth together, I proceeded to enjoy the delectable pastime of cunnilingus. Different certain cooperated skittishly, appreciating the outlandishness of it, all the while the back porch neighbors, attracted by the ruckus too, peeped nervously out at us. Pata, excited by this lustful twist, began smooching with a different certain, who responded with admirable reciprocity. Sadly, though, before we even sated ourselves, Beeflo, a musician-comedian acquaintance, helped me and the Mr.
John, is that sound on?
By guiding me.
I think the sound man who kicked the shit out of Damon Norco this morning, retired and feathered, driven out of here.
The next day, I telephoned yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did this sentence go, and Mrs. had to affect what went before Clark to apologize to her. She responded with, "It's too late for that, Michael," and my apologetic mood flipped on its head. Infuriated by her self-righteousness and filled with hate at having been treated like a monster by even my so-called friends for way too long, I wanted to strip bare their own shallow existences and watch them ride. Too many people had been all too willing to exploit me for my loving passions, only to dump me like scum when I became too problematic. Unlike yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did this sentence go and Mrs. how did it affect what went before Clark, I knew certain parts of yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did this sentence go and Mr. how did it affect what went before Clark's daily routine intimately. Her working and grant money supported his somewhat clandestine lifestyle. Awakening around 3 in the afternoon, he would lounge around the house until she got home and fixed him dinner. Later, he'd go to bars and get sloshed while she retired early to bed to enable her to wake around 6:30 to go through her daily wage slave grind. Going to the almost inevitable post-bar closing time party, he would find his new fuck for the night or the week or whatever, go to her place to screw her and make it go to bed shortly before she would wake up to make her think that he hadn't been with anyone else.
Let's go ahead.
I'm sure he didn't want to rock his easy street with her supporting him.
Support poetry in tiny town.
Still antagonized by
Justify poetic
he said not too much about which way this sentence would go and Mrs. Howell's affection went before Clark's passing judgment on me. I wrote a letter addressed to both in which I scathingly criticized her mentality and faintly yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did this sentence go and Mr. Howell's affect what went before Clark's got the light.
What?
She apparently opened the letter first. I suspect he would hid it from her or destroyed it. Her resultant revelation
I think I'll get out of
prompted her to take on an extra lover for herself. Yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did this sentence go and Mr. How did it affect what went before Clark, proved himself to be not much better than me and substantially more hypocritical. By going on a binge of even heavier drinking than usual and threatening suicide if she didn't leave her new boyfriend. This went on for months, with him exhibiting such behavior as standing on the window ledge at a party, or so hearsay had it, pleaded with my friends not to jump. Maybe he and I really did have a lot in common.
There's one bar in everything.
Yesterday when we went walking and we said not too much about which way did this sentence go and Mr. How did it affect what went before Clark, was on the board of directors of Multimedia Editions, an attempt at an arts group that never got too far, and from which I was banned, partially at the prompting of another so-called friend of mine, Gail Hansen. Yesterday when we went walking, we said not too much about which way did this sentence go, and Mrs. How did it affect what went before Clark's lover was on the same board of directors. Yesterday we went walking and we said not too much about which way did this sentence go, and Mr. How did it affect what went before Clark's emotional frenzy was expressed in a more civilized and less direct way than mine, by his insisting, or again, as he other men, insistent denials and despite the apparent lack of any specific instances having been cited. I would ask about when and how I had supposedly molested her. No one knew, but they were sure I'd done it. I'm still not sure whether the molestation was by pissing in front of her, by kissing her and prepositioning her, sometimes obstinately, or certain 12's fabrication to explain why she hadn't given me a ride and to attempt to cause more trouble.
Oh, right.
If it was my sexual obstinacy, the least ridiculous of the three to me, was I really so dense as to have not noticed that she didn't actually feel unaffronted by it? Or did she just reach a peak that night and rehistorified?
Get that repulsive guy. That yellow line. Mercy of the sick. Got it?
I got it, I think.
All right, well,
my side of the story. Everyone I knew accepted the hearsay version rather than my first-person account. Since I was the most honest individual I knew, I resented their mob mentality rejection of me. As with the rest of society, I was much more useful to them as a scapegoat. The incident at the Mr. and Mrs. Howard, in fact what went before Clark House, was the supposed last straw for my housemates. They informed me that I must move out, despite the fact that I was the one who had been mainly responsible for the finding of this paradise for us in the first place. After protracted and long-faced conferences with them, in which their hatred of me was more than evident, and despite the fact that I had no money and almost friends left, I agreed to leave. Do I seem like a real shit to you? I'm my own Joan Crawford and my own Joan Crawford's daughter.
Bullshit, come on.
It's a JC win the original.
Another text?
Can you get, yeah, there's another text that's over there in the back. But, hey Laura, can you keep an eye on the camera while he's doing this text? Just give me the top one. Actually, give me the other one too, the form love one.
Thanks.
It's not too bad now.
What about standing up? It might attract more attention.
Where's that guy that was with Laughing Tree? You're the
Oh yeah.
Come, Michael, baby, we're waiting.
Come on! Don't! The brains!
All right, I want to read. Wait a minute, Randy. Wait a minute. What's? Keep doing it because I'm about to read a form love letter and I'm going to put Randy's name at the top. Okay? So make sure you get some shots of his face. All right. All right. Here's my form love letter. My most beloved Randy.
I'm gonna roll down the road.
You
can do a task too.
All right, I'm going to read the form love letter. My most beloved Randy, the intensity of my love for you is burning deep down in me like that most unquenchable fire from your proud poetic son.
You're breaking his heart!
Thought of you and thoughts of you obsess me constantly. Send shivers of lust and delight quivering through my being. You possess me in my dreams. You suck my love juice into your body. You are the only man, woman, whatever I could ever care about. There's only one goddess before my senses, and you are the one. Your greatness makes me believe in holiness, and I pray to this holiness to permit me to mingle our souls and bodies eternally in the most profound hedonism. My days and nights are spent caressing your minutest detail over and over as I carefully invent new ways to please your innermost self. A passion such as mine for you is unparalleled in the history of magnificent romances. Never shall I be surpassed in the extremes that I'm willing to propel myself into with plunging abandon in order to assure that you and you alone feel the full benefit all that I have to challenge, offer as a channel for cosmic bliss. Forever. Brainhead.
It's the Brainhead! Knock him $4! Primo, $4! And you read from his latest publication, How to Write English. Available at Apathy Press.
All right, one last text. For example, in support of fun and against polarizing authorities versus the idea of revolutionary guerrillas creating situations
Somebody
that
dunk
bring
this
us over
righteous
just the
man.
intrinsic Nazism of legalized power. That is polarizing authorities versus what? Who? Those who didn't choose about them or any others? This polarization means bringing a war into avertness with the idea that the majority will as a result understand that these leaders lead them into illusions of wide open space, lulling them with a security, the falseness of which is that of the possibilities that it creates, seeming greater than those that it represses. A security which is actually the security, minimum and maximum,
I got it.
of a prison with wallpaper murals of idyllic landscapes and prisoners willing to lock themselves in. As if a war can be won? I have no faith in the message's ability to cope with serious thought. It's too intimidating and tiresome for them? Not necessarily. The messes are the messes because they are different from those who are different. Trying to write these things accurately seems so futile. And the difference is they're wanting security to be provided as a commodity. That is the false security, which is the security of being led, of being relieved of the tension of decision-making. The idea of the fun gorilla as possibly more revolutionarily effective insofar as it presents the happiness potential of revolution, and insofar as it relaxes people from the tension of serious decision-making by presenting them with the possibility of playful roles which are flexible, unbinding enough not to involve life and death polarization. Police penalize laughter by a person facing possible arrest might perceive the person and the situation as free of threat enough that fear doesn't lead to the rigidity of the role of the security of the power invested in them. Fun gorilla not as ridicule, which is again polarizing. It should be fun for everyone involved. For example, graffiti which attempts to amuse, pictorially excluding the blind but not the illiterate, rather than victimize, no scapegoat humor, that is ethnic jokes. What's the difference between a wasp and a let it be, imperialistic homie? Toward a revolutionary theory and sense of humor, tentatively a convenience, box 382, Greater Baltimore, Maryland 21203, USA, question mark.
Fascist! Fascist!
I think it's probably time to find a replacement.
Hey, everyone in the warning. Andy, Patella. Who's on first? Who's next?
All right, well, wait a minute. Then, John, could you or
Yeah, I'll get it
do me a
first.
favor? See this piece of paper that's down here on the ground right here? No, not that one, John. I want this guy, this kid. Yeah, can you just hand that up to me? I want to read the forum love letter. Thanks a lot. My most beloved Laura.
Is he still reading? That guy.
I got him.
The intensity of my love for you is burning deep within me like that of the most unquenchable fires in a proud poetic sun. You gotta keep going until I'm finished here.
Hold it be! Dunk the brain hand! 3 balls for $1.
The merest thought of you and thoughts of you excess me constantly, send shivers of lust and delight quivering through my being. You possess me in my dreams. You suck my love juice into your body. You are the only woman I could ever care about. There's only one Your greatness makes me believe in holiness, and I pray to this holiness to permit me to mingle all souls and bodies eternally in the most profound hedonism. My days and nights are spent caressing your minutest detail over and over as I carefully invent new ways to please your innermost self. A passion such as mine for you is unparalleled in the history of magnificent romances. Never shall I be surpassed in the extremes that I'm willing to propel myself into with plunging abandon in order to assure that you and you alone will feel the full benefit of all that I have to offer as a channel for cosmic bliss. Forever, tentatively a convenience. right, Andy, I'm going to quit now, so unless
So what was that song about?
But the best part was the declamation of the political proclamation, I think.
Yeah.
Especially since that's when I got hurt the most, since I was standing up.
Yeah, I got a great shot of that kid, Duncan.
The kid,
Kid like ran up.